I'm being held captive in a Spanish prison and taking the greatest chance of my life in trusting you with this letter. But you seem to be a man of high morals. Please, sir, send me a sum of just a few $100s so I can free myself and save my young daughter. I'll repay you handsomely with a portion of a treasure I have hidden for no one else to see. Believe it or not, the story behind this letter and millions of others just like it can teach us valuable lessons when it comes to marketing our businesses. No, seriously, let's think like a scammer. That's today on The Loyalty Loop. Scams, hoaxes, con games, phishing emails, regardless of what you call it, these tricks have been in the criminal playbook for hundreds of years, and they work. In just the last year, 59.4 million Americans have lost money just to phone scams alone. You son of a... Look at these famous Spanish prisoner letters, all right? These were written in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and con men would write letters claiming to be men in prison during the Spanish-American War. And they found their victims by looking up obituary notices, combing through phone books, or in the case of 1930s Great Britain, by looking through a list called Who's Who, a sort of kind of precursor to Facebook for the British elite. Now this scam went on for decades. There's even a New York Times article describing the resurgence of this scam, and the article is from 1898. Now the story was always pretty much the same. You see, someone writes this letter to a specific target claiming to be stuck in prison, and they need money in order to get out, and in exchange for secrecy, the victim would receive a huge chunk of treasure. And guess what? That prize, quote unquote prize, never came. Are you kidding me? Instead, people were conned over and over again out of their hard-earned money, and with the invention of the fax machine and eventually email, well, the scam evolved. A more recent version of this is known as the Nigerian Prince Scam. I mean, you've probably got one of those, right? It's just a variation on the same scam where a man claims to be a Nigerian prince who needs help escaping from his country. They sweet talk their victims out of all sorts of information, and guess what? They work. So, why do these scams work so well? It all comes down to drama. Drama. Scammers are using the power of story against you. So, let's play Think Like a Scammer! Believe it or not, marketers just like you can learn a lot by thinking like a scammer. We'll use 3 examples: the Spanish prisoner letter, the Nigerian Prince Scam, and email phishing attacks as just simple examples. And we'll look to see how people are using the power of story against you. Now, am I telling you to con your customers out of their money? Of course not. But if you can use the power of great storytelling to share a compelling story, you'll be capturing the imagination of customers and prospects, and that works. Here's what I mean, and it starts with the little things, okay? So let's say someone enters an email to download your, I don't know, B2B ebook, right? A marketer would send a follow-up email from something like info@blah-blah-blah-blah-blah.com company, okay? Now, let's think like a scammer. And scammers do not send emails from info@ or no reply at email addresses, do they? Nope. They're smart enough to know that it has to be a personal connection from the outset, like Prince Damika at Nigeria.gov. Okay, so think like a scammer. Lesson number 1, make sure all your emails come from a real person, Okay, now imagine you're a B2C business and you've just received an order from a brand new customer. Now, what do most marketers do? Well, we send a welcome email thanking them for their purchase, and we, I don't know, offer them a discount on their next order. Boring! Let's think like a scammer. See, a scammer takes advantage of any opportunity to tell their story, and they start with a great opening line. Remember the opening line of the Spanish prisoner letter from the 1800s? I'm being held captive in a Spanish prison. What? That's captivating. Get it? That's so stupid. So, think like a scammer, lesson number 2. What's your founder's story and what's your captivating opening line? Okay, now imagine you're, I don't know, a not-for-profit and you're trying to enlist your donors' help in spreading your message. What do most marketers do? Well, they send out a campaign begging their audience to share their noble cause out of the goodness of their hearts, blah, 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 blah. What would a scammer do? Well, scammers know they have to answer one simple question after they tell their story. What's in it for me? So, think like a scammer. Lesson number 3. Convince your readers that sharing your story benefits me in some way.
You must choose. But choose wisely.
Let me be clear. You can use all of these ideas for good or for evil. I'm asking you to choose wisely.
You have chosen wisely.
Leveraging the power of drama and a really great story to connect with your clients, customers, donors, and prospects is a technique that every savvy marketer should embrace. So next time you get an email from a Nigerian prince, read it and learn. Maybe there's something you can apply from their nefarious tactics. Now, delete that email. Don't send the money, all right? I'll see you next week in my loyalty loop.
Always money in the banana stand.